Hey, in this video today, I'm going to describe to you exactly what my depression and anxiety felt like before I got into microdosing magic mushrooms. And I've got to tell you, it was really bad. And I want to share with you everything. I'm not going to leave anything out. And I'm going to share with you exactly how I felt then and how I feel now. And maybe some of you can relate to this totally. So I'm Dr. Dave, and I want to make sure that you understand that none of this is to be taken as medical advice. I'm just a friend sharing information to another friend. So let's start with the way I generally felt day to day. And that was very, very anxious. I had this anxiety that I could not really explain. The best way to explain it is my body just felt like I was always like revved up, like in high gear, and I could never really, even if I tried to relax, I couldn't. It didn't feel relaxing because I just felt like this level of I don't. It can't really explain it, but I think those of you that have anxiety probably can totally relate and understand what I mean. Just always revved up, not relaxed, didn't feel relaxing. Now, also I was working in my business with my brother, and I was a public speaker, and I was traveling all across the country, especially before COVID, giving talks to large audiences and doing phone consultations and even speaking to people in person, one-to-one. And whenever I would be on stage in these later years, I noticed that, again, I felt really revved up. And if I got off of a conference call or a webinar or finished recording a podcast, I needed like hours and hours before my body could return to normal. It was really strange. Even sometimes talking to a friend for more than 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, I started getting this revved up feeling, which is, again, really, really, really bad. A typical day for me, I'd wake up in the morning not feeling relaxed. Again, my body would be revved up. As far as depression, I can't say that I really felt like sad. Sad's not the right word. It would be more like I didn't have the energy or the desire to do things. I just couldn't get things done, and it was it's a bad situation to be in when you know that you got to be productive and you should be doing things and even enjoying the outside world, like hiking and skiing. Sometimes I felt like I just couldn't get into the things that I really enjoyed. So typically it would be tough to get out of bed. I would eventually make my way out of bed and make breakfast for me and for my wife. And after I would eat breakfast, sometimes I had this kind of a sick feeling, like I just didn't like not really a nausea, but a sick feeling in my stomach, like, Dave, you shouldn't have eaten because now you feel sick. And I didn't know what this was, but now looking back, none of it was physical. I didn't have any physical problem eating. It was kind of an anxiety problem, and I just felt weird after eating meals, especially large meals. It just something wasn't right there. And let me just back up for a second, because my life is and was really good. I don't have any financial problems. I've got a great marriage. I'm married to my best friend and a beautiful wife who like really loves me, and we love being with each other. And so it's definitely not a relationship thing. So people would always ask me, Dave, why are you anxious and why are you depressed? Because your life is great. And I couldn't explain. It probably something in my brain chemistry, but you can't explain it. It's really weird. But then, so after breakfast, I would feel sick, and then during the course of the day, I would just feel like tired, and it would be very common. Almost every day, I'd have to lay down for a nap that lasted anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours. And when I got up from the nap, I felt worse than when I started taking the nap. The nap really didn't help me much, but it felt like I had to do it. I felt like I had to do it anyway, if that makes sense. My doctor, my psychiatrist, who I'd been going to, we decided together that I needed some type of antidepressant and to help for depression and anxiety. He felt it was mainly anxiety, but in my heart, I knew it was both. So I started on Lexapro. Lexapro is an SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which kind of messes with and redistributes and allows more serotonin into your brain. Serotonin is like a happy chemical. And so did it help? Yes, it absolutely helped somewhat. It didn't help all the way, and I still had days, many days, where even though I'd be on the Lexapro, I'd still feel oftentimes, maybe at least 3 to 4 times a week, that I needed some more help with something else, so I would have to take some diazepam to calm me down even more. And that's just, I'm not a drug person, and I'm not a medicine person. I kind of like used to brag all my life, like up until a few years ago, I was on no meds, never taking a medication. But now it got to the point where I was taking this and that, and it was really, really, really tough. So the evening time, I remember it gets around like after dinner, 7 o'clock, 7:30, I'd be looking at the clock thinking like, when can I get to bed? Because I looked forward to getting to bed, because I guess I didn't feel right being up, and I couldn't get things done, and I just felt like this I guess depression. Again, it didn't feel like a sadness. It just felt like a weird feeling that can't be described. But I looked forward to getting to bed, because I knew that I'd get to bed and I would be asleep and I wouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's kind of true. But still, if I would wake up well, first let me back up for another time, because I developed really bad insomnia. Like a lot of times I couldn't even get to sleep. That was horrible. It's a really horrible feeling, laying in bed and not being able to sleep. And then also waking up in the middle of the night and feeling super anxious, like your heart's beating fast, and then going to the bathroom, using the bathroom, and then not being able to get back to sleep after that. It was like a catch-22. Nothing was working. Sleep wasn't working. Being awake wasn't good. It was really, really bad. And then in the morning, I'd get up and I'd start all over again. I'd feel revved up in the morning. I didn't feel relaxed. I felt like I couldn't really get things done. And then the next day, we just got into this pattern, and same thing over and over and over again. It was really, really tough. I mean, there were times that I thought maybe I wasn't even going to make it. It was hard for me to get on the phone and talk to friends. I confided in a few very close friends and told them what was going on, but sometimes I just avoided phone calls because I wasn't in the mood to talk to anybody. It was really, really bad. Fast forward, I started microdosing of magic mushrooms about 8 months ago, and I'm not going to explain exactly how I did it, because I made plenty of videos already on exactly what I did, how to do it, dosage, things like that. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but suffice to say, it does have a happy ending, because a very short time, very, very short time after starting microdosing magic mushrooms, I felt totally back to normal. I can't even, it's such a shame that this is illegal, because this medicine is the best medicine I've ever used in my life, because it took me, who was in this funk for at least a few years, it took me totally out of the funk. I feel like I'm the old David, and I go about my days now, and I have fun, and I interact with people, and I don't get revved up. And right now, as I'm speaking to you, even though we've been speaking for about 9 minutes or so, I don't feel revved up. If I would have done this exact same program about a year ago, my heart would be racing now. I'd be feeling revved up and really bad, and I have to probably cut the thing short. Now I feel like I could talk to you forever. I feel calm. I feel relaxed. Microdosing psilocybin magic mushrooms got me to where I am today. There is no question in my mind. And by the way, something I forgot to put in there, but in this whole funk, this several-year funk, I was put on blood pressure medication, because of course, being revved up and being, feeling anxious, my blood pressure was going up in a bad way. And so I was put on blood pressure medication, and that had side effects, and it was all horrible. But I'm totally off of blood pressure meds now. I don't need them, because I'm back to the old way that I should be. And I owe everything. I owe my life to these wonderful plants, these wonderful mushrooms. And that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you today. I've never talked so openly about this, because people look at anxiety and depression and they look at it as a mental illness, and something's wrong with you and you're bad. But it is mental illness for sure. There's no, but you can't be embarrassed about it. You're not embarrassed to tell people you have diabetes or you have a heart problem. That's not embarrassing. It's something that happens. Luckily, I have neither of those, but for a while I was absolutely embarrassed and ashamed to tell people that I had a mental health problem. But now, speaking about it makes me feel better to help others that might be going through the same thing, because I feel your pain, I feel your struggle. It's really, really, really difficult. Several years ago, I wouldn't have been able to empathize as much because I hadn't been through this myself. But being through this myself, I totally understand what a horrible world it can be. And there is help out there for you. Again, this is not to be taken as medical advice. I'm just sharing with you what helped me the most. I still do take Lexapro. That's the only medication I take. I feel that the Lexapro and the magic mushrooms together work so wonderfully, and I feel so good. Right now, I don't want to mess with anything. I don't want to change anything, because the mixture I'm not saying you need Lexapro, and I'm not saying you need an SSRI. The magic mushrooms help many people alone. But with me, I was kind of afraid to wean off of it. I think starting at the beginning of the year, I might try to wean off more. But things just are working so perfectly in harmony right now. I don't want to change anything, because why should you mess with a winning formula is the way I look at it. Okay, that's what I want to share with you today. I welcome questions, comments. I'm here for you. I really, really appreciate you and the community we're building here with this little channel. I'm a real person. I'm not somebody who's just trying to make money with YouTube. Now, I'm here because I really went through all this, and I just want to share this with as many people, share this message with as many people as possible. Okay, have a great day. I do love you. Dr. Dave.